Fallout continues tonight after dozens of migrants were brought to the Sacramento area without warning by two separate planes both Friday and also on Monday. And now Sacramento leaders are calling for help and making arrangements and providing resources for those 36 migrants. Thanks for joining us tonight for Fox 40 News at 10. I'm Nikki Lorenzo.
And I'm Eric Harriman. Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg is asking immigration attorneys to come to the aid of those South and Central American migrants. The attorneys who do answer that call certainly will not be alone. Instead, they'll be bolstering the efforts of the Fuel Network. That is a coalition of 80 organizations funded in part by the cities of Sacramento, Elk Grove, and Yolo County.
Whether it was the refugees from Afghanistan who were servicing Americans or to deportation proceedings from Sacramento citizens, and in this case, the asylees that are arriving in Sacramento, the network provides not only legal services and connection, but the services that they may need, such as housing and other resources.
Sacramento City Council member Eric Guerra initiated the Fuel Network shortly after the election of former President Trump. According to the coalition of volunteers helping that group of migrants, they have gone through initial immigration proceedings, but it is still very uncertain as to whether or not they have any future here in the U.S.
All right, so what's the next step in the legal process for these migrants being flown into Sacramento? Fox 40's Eric Rucker joining us now live in West Sacramento after posing that question to an immigration attorney. Rucker.
And Nikki, you would think that all these pleas for help would make it much easier for these migrants to get that legal representation, but an immigration attorney that we talked to tonight said that might not be the case.
It is shocking to me.
Tonight, West Sacramento-based immigration attorney Brian Hedrick reacting to the cases of migrants being flown into Sacramento.
I think what makes this big news is the allegation that a state governor or his administration facilitated this movement of people.
Our question to the expert, what happens next legally? Hedrick says there are two very important court dates on the horizon for those involved looking for asylum, and it likely will not be a quick process.
Now, preliminary hearings can be scheduled within a few months. Merits hearing, depending on what court system you're in, could be a year, 2 years, and sometimes even as long as 5 years.
With the push now on to get these migrants legal representation, Hedrick says unlike a criminal court where those who cannot afford a lawyer are given a public defender, that option does not exist in immigration cases.
It's not guaranteed and it's not provided by the government. They have the right to an attorney, but they don't get one provided to them at the government's expense.
Hedrick says another potential issue is the fact that immigration attorneys are extremely busy, but the calls are out there.
I've already seen a lot of emails and phone calls from organizations and even private attorneys looking to see if anyone wants to step up and help. And I think this is a good community that has organizations and people that will step up and help them.
Now, one more potential issue here. We do not know how long those migrants had been in the United States. And the reason behind that, as far as what it means moving forward, is did they have an opportunity to open up asylum cases in other states before coming to California? In West Sacramento, covering local news that matters, I'm Eric Rucker, Fox 40 News.